Distribution provided by Cloud Sigma, the cloud that adapts to you. Visit cloudsigma.com/thisweekend for a free $200 credit.
Welcome to This Week in Music. My name's Ian Rogers, and today we're lucky to have as a guest Debbie Cavalier of Berkleemusic, the largest online music school in the world. Stay tuned.
I feel good, even though I shouldn't.
Welcome to This Week in Music. Ian Rogers here, and today we're joined by Debbie Cavalier of Berkleemusic, which is the online school that goes with the Berkeley College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. I got introduced to Berkleemusic a few years ago when we started working with them via Topspin, and I'm, a pretty poor amateur musician, but I thought, well, I want to go on and try some of this coursework. I hadn't really had much of a thought of what online music coursework might be like, but I definitely didn't think it was within somewhat of my capability to go on to a school like this and actually learn anything. But I was really, really blown away by the quality of the coursework. It kind of made me rethink online education all the way around, not just music education. So if you haven't tried it out, it'd be a great bit of context for this week's program. You just go on berkleemusic.com, Berklee music.com, and try out one of the sample courses there. If you have the same experience as me, you come away going, oh well, maybe I could learn to play piano in my spare time, and spare time is the main problem there, but you definitely can. The coursework is incredible from the very basic all the way up to the advanced. So, Debbie, thank you so much for joining us on This Week in Music.
Thank you for having me.
Give us a little bit. I mean, for someone who doesn't know about Berkleemusic and the online programs that are there, what is it?
Berkleemusic is the online continuing education division of Berkeley College of Music, and we were set up to expand the reach of the college and provide music education opportunities to musicians all over the world who can't pick up and move to Boston and enroll in a 4-year full-time degree program.
And for folks that don't know much about Berkeley, I mean, Berkeley is preeminent music school in the world.
Yes, the largest and most diverse. It's just incredible, rich tradition. It was founded on the principle that music could be taught through music of the day. So it began as a jazz school. It still has a very strong jazz reputation, but we've evolved over time, and Berkeley teaches rock, pop, hip hop, country. It's just everything you can imagine, and it's a vibrant community of 4,000 students, and it's an amazing place.
We have a number of interns and actually now full-time employees at Topspin who have come out of Berkeley. So. Our house band is kind of a secret weapon. So yeah. The online school then, when was it started by the Berkeley College of Music folks?
It was started 10 years ago. It's hard to believe that we're celebrating our 10th anniversary. And this year alone, we'll teach 12,000 students online from about 150 countries.
Wow. So you have 4,000 people in the physical university.
Yes.
There on Mass Ave, and you have 12,000 going through the online school. That's a great opportunity that gets unlocked by the online school then.
It's true. Those 12,000 students are taking single classes, maybe 2 courses, not a full
right.
load, and they're taking.
And what kind of person is it?
Well, our audience tends to be 25 through 45-year-old aspiring musicians, people who either always dreamed of going to Berkeley and they were not able to. Maybe their parents had different plans for them. We have a lot of students telling us this was a lifelong dream, and now they have access to studying with the likes of Gary Burton, which is something they always wanted to do. And
right.
It's a way of opening up and providing access.
So. Who are the teachers in the courses generally?
About 85% are Berkeley College of Music faculty, also chairs and deans. It runs the gamut, really high quality people who are committing to many hours of helping people around the world learn music. We also have about 20% of industry experts. People get to a point in their career where they're ready to give back to education, and so we have Scott Selwood from RightsFlow teaching music licensing, and the list goes on. And
what are the kinds of courses? I mean, obviously I could learn proficiency at an instrument, but you're talking
yes.
about things that like that sound legal in nature.
Yes, so we have a large production catalog. About 40% of our 115 courses are in the area of production. Music business, orchestration, songwriting, a lot of performance-based courses, guitar, drum set, bass, improvisation, and then we have the whole theory, harmony, ear training area. So it's a very robust catalog, and our courses reflect what happens in the on-campus program. Same curriculum, same instructor, same faculty. And it's an exciting opportunity for folks all over the world.
And what's it like if when someone takes a course? Give them a sense of how much of it is you read something or watch something re-recorded, and how much of it is actually interacting with the people that you mentioned before.
Sure, that's a great question, and I'll describe it, but I would also encourage, as you said, folks to take a look at our sample courses, because a picture's worth 1,000 words with this. But the courses are all 12 weeks in length, and every week has a theme and learning objectives and topics and activities and discussion questions and assignments. And that's, I think, the most meaningful part, is that students do these portfolio-based assignments. So if you're in an orchestration course, you're uploading your orchestrations on a weekly basis, or recording your guitar parts on a weekly basis, and getting feedback from a Berklee College of Music, your instructor, in addition to feedback from your classmates, and you're learning from looking at what your classmates did, listening to their assignments, seeing the feedback that they're getting. So it's a very rich and vibrant community. It's incredible.
And how is the interaction with the fellow students done?
Well, we have a learning environment, a learning management system that has been customized over the past 10 years to really have the tools needed to teach music effectively online. So you might listen to somebody's improvisation and want to comment, and right within the browser, right within the discussion board, you can just click record and begin recording your feedback, or the instructor can do the same. We created a custom in-browser video tool, so you're getting really robust feedback. Students can listen to that feedback from their classmates or from their instructor. Often they'll then do their assignment again after getting that kind of feedback, and
right.
It goes on.
Well, let's come back to the Berklee College of Music stuff. I'd like to know how you ended up here. I mean, this is a new position for you, correct? Well,
yes. I've been with Berkeley now for 14 years. I'm actually a Berkeley alumna. I graduated in '87 and was a music education major and taught for years. My career led me into music education publishing, and I was with Columbia Pictures Publications and Warner Brothers Publications. And about 1990...
Doing what there?
Music education publishing, so developing resources for music educators, writing choral arrangements, working with music education experts to create publications that help educators and teach kids primarily, a lot of things for elementary. As an elementary school teacher, that was a real sweet spot for me. And
right.
Yeah. So.
Let's back up a little bit.
Sure.
What was your music major? What's your area of specialty there?
Music education.
Okay. And,
yes.
And what about as a musician?
Oh, piano. Yeah, piano and voice, and really have gotten into songwriting as well and performing.
So then you were able to take your love and first make it education,
yes.
and then parlay that into into a career, which is something that, I mean,
yes.
As I mentioned, we have a number of Berklee grads at Topspin as well, and it's great to see how many folks. There are a lot of folks that would love to be professional musicians,
yes.
But then find music-related industry jobs. Was that always
yes.
important to you personally?
Always important, yes, yes. And Berkeley provides such a practical, pragmatic education, and it's all about the career path that so many Berkeley graduates are in the music industry.
How do they do that as a university, as a student? How do they present you with the look? You might not get paid to play piano for the rest of your life, so we're going to help you with some other career items.
Well, just being at Berkeley, and I think there are more than 17 majors now: music education, music business, music therapy. There are so many career paths and opportunities, and the faculty themselves are examples of varied careers in music, and there's a focus on multiple income streams, and teaching and writing and licensing, and just all of the different ways to monetize your passion.
And what about the community? I mean, a lot of going to an Ivy League school is you're the network that you leave
yes.
with. What's that like at a college like Berkeley?
It's very powerful. Yes, there's an area on Mass Ave that you mentioned that we have called for years the Berkeley Beach, and that's where a lot of networking happens, and projects are formed, and collaborations go on throughout a person's career. We're finding that in the online school as well. The students come together, and really form connections. The assignments are collaborative in nature, and when that 12-week course ends, they're continuing on and communicating and working together, and we get a lot of reports back about some successes that they're finding.
Right. So I interrupted you on kind of your history. Let's go back to that. So you were working in music education, creating, as you said, arrangements and whatnot.
Yes.
And then where did that lead you?
And then, that was at Warner Brothers Publications in Miami. It was a wonderful career opportunity, and I was there for 5 years. And then I heard that Berkeley Press, which was at that time sort of dormant, was being distributed by Hal Leonard, but no real new titles were happening. And so they wanted to breathe new life into that. So I came on board in 1998 to be the managing editor for Berkeley Press, which
Gotcha.
laid the foundation for Berkleemusic in an incredible way, because all of these faculty authors were codifying their methods in books, and then we had those as required texts when we started the online school.
So Berkeley Press was education texts, not
Yes.
sheet music, or...
That's right, yeah. Lawrence Burke started Berkeley Press back in the 50s, I believe, as a way for faculty to earn extra income streams, and also to further the reach of the college. That's always been a big part of Berkeley, is to take what happens in the classroom and make it available to people who aren't going to be at the campus. Before our online school, there was a correspondence course back in the 70s, mail-based, where you'd fill out your lessons, mail it in, it would get graded, and you'd get your next lesson.
Wow.
So we've always been about furthering, expanding the reach of the college.
And with the coursework from Berkeley Press, how did that then inform Berkleemusic, the online resource,
Yes.
when it started 10 years ago?
Well, we had a lot of data. We knew what people wanted, production, guitar. We did a lot of surveying, but when we found out what aspiring musicians wanted to study, we already had a lot of relationships and curriculum developed in a way that we could begin to develop online courses. So we started with Pro Tools courses and had a wonderful textbook, Producing Music with Pro Tools by David Franz, and that informed that first course. Desktop music production with David Mash as well. He's published a lot of books on the subject matter. Music theory with Paul Schmeling, Berkeley Press book started, and then we started that course. So
and what about you personally? When and how did you make the transition between the two?
I still oversee Berkeley Press. So Berkeley Media is our division within the college, and we oversee Berkeley Press and Berkleemusic, the online school.
Gotcha.
So both are still
And how has press changed as obviously you've added a lot of students on the online side,
Yes.
and is one declining and one increasing? Is that the natural thing that's happening, or is Berkeley Press still going strong?
It's still going strong, but it's not a growth area. It's sort of a service to the industry, really. So every year we publish 10 new books based on Berkeley's curriculum, and it's a wonderful way to expand the reach. But the real growth is with the online school. We started with about 1,300 students in the first year, and now 12,000 this year. So and we'll be offering online degrees in 2014. So
that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
I've bothered folks a few times. As soon as there's an online, I would like to have the first MBA from Berkeley online.
That would be
I'll just go on record publicly as saying, if that's possible.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, how do you sort of accumulate, if I take 100 classes, which is absurd, but if I take a stack of classes, does that amount to something for me? And what are tell us about the kind of the tracks,
Sure. So currently we offer standalone courses, certificate programs, which are 3 to 5 to 12 courses bundled together in a certificate. And in 2014 we'll be offering 2 online bachelor's degrees to begin with. One is in music production and one is in music business. And it's part of our continuing ed division. So like continuing ed, it'll be relatively open admission. There will be an application and admission and interview process, but it won't be the same bar to get into the on-campus program. And we will be transferring in credits and life experience. So it's a great opportunity for adult learners who have a number of credits, really want to complete that degree, or for high school students who are looking at the cost of a 4-year education and would like to stay at home perhaps and study for a couple of years online and then transfer those credits somewhere. So
let's say I wanted to get a music business degree, but I had I've got a year of kind of general ed credits at my
Yes.
local community college. Is that a track for me? I can
Absolutely, yeah. So we have admissions advisors that would look at those transcripts and work with you and craft a custom plan that would be best for you.
And is there a general ed program or component to?
Oh, yes.
To that? Well, how does
Because
that work?
We're fully accredited by NEASC, the New England Association of School and Colleges, and to offer a bachelor's degree that's accredited, you need at least 40 credits of general education or liberal arts. But we're being very strategic with those courses. So music cognition is one by Dr. Susan Rogers. And so we're asking our students, if you could study anything, what would it be, including in liberal arts? So we have a music video editing course.
Interesting.
So that satisfies that requirement, and it provides an opportunity for musicians to have visuals with their music, which is so important.
Wow. So I just want to, I'll recap for folks who have jumped around a little bit. So I can come in now and I could take a course just for fun.
Yes.
I could, hey, I want to get better at this, or I want to learn a little of that. I want to learn Pro Tools. I want to learn about marketing, whatever it is. But I could also get a certificate.
Yes.
And my certificate would be give us a couple of certificate examples.
You could get a music business certificate that perhaps has 5 courses. Some might be entrepreneurial focused, some might be marketing focused. And our students have told us that they are really helping them in the interview process. They're resume builders, which shows a commitment to an area of study.
Right. And then starting in 2014,
Yes,
you said,
yes.
I'll be able to have a degree. But I assume I could come in today and start taking courses intending
Yes.
To nail that degree in a couple of years.
Absolutely. We have all the plan for all those courses, and we would be able to advise you now how that would relate to the degree requirements.
So you mentioned the cost relative to a 4-year institution. What is the cost of the online school relative to coming to Berkeley, the college, for 4 years?
Yes, it is less expensive, but we don't have all the accoutrements that you would have as a full-time undergraduate student. We don't
Sure.
have so many things that a full-time undergrad requires, counseling and student services like that. And but right now, our courses are 3 credits each, and they're $1,400 for a 12-week, 3-credit course. If, as an adult learner, you're not interested in the credit, you can take that same course, same educational experience, for $1,200, $200 less.
Gotcha.
So currently, that's just a multiple. If you're in a certificate program with 8 courses, you would just, it would be the sum of that.
Right.
For the full-time undergraduate program, it's a different suite of offerings, and it's all bundled together. So it's sort of apples and oranges.
Right, but
Yeah.
so that's going to be one bundled price if I'm going for the degree program.
Yes, but I don't think it will be common for a student to come to us and want to take all 120 credits. I really believe this continuing ed degree will be bringing people in who perhaps have an associate's degree they're going to transfer in, or life experience that we have to take into consideration. So I think each one will be unique.
So if I come in and I've been a gigging jazz musician for 15 years, you're going to give me a bunch of credits off the bat, potentially?
Potentially, we'd have to look at what are the requirements for the degree and where that maps. Probably in the core music studies, there would be some synergy there.
Right. Well, when I come in to get my degree, to see what my experiences were,
Yes.
I'm guessing maybe 2 credits somewhere.
You bring that band of yours with you, maybe.
There's a movement from many universities, Stanford, MIT, et cetera, to do a lot of free courseware.
Yes.
You mentioned Berkeley giving back on the education side, generally speaking. Is there any component of this, of what Berkeley does that's freeware?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked about that. We've always had a strategy in free. So we always wanted to give back. So 10 years ago, we started Berkeley Shares. If you go to berkeleyshares.com, it's free lessons, free videos, free PDFs filled with lesson content in all areas. Our YouTube channel has hundreds of free lessons, but we just signed with Coursera. So if you go to coursera.org/Berkeley, we have 4 courses there now. 50,000 students have enrolled so far. And the courses are improvisation with Gary Burton, a guitar course, a production course, and a songwriting course, 6 weeks in length. And just a way to give back and be part of that movement, that MOOC, Massive Online Open Course movement. Sure. I think a good differentiator is the MOOCs are low touch to no touch with faculty, and it's peer assessment, peer grading. The Berkeley music courses are very small cohorts of classes, less than 20 students to one faculty, and on a weekly basis you're communicating and getting feedback multiple times from that Berkeley faculty member. So,
right. So what you're really paying for is the interaction.
Yes.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. Just sort of generally speaking, information is out there.
Yes.
If I wanted to understand how to do something, or if I was willing to wade through and try to find the right information for me, it's out there. The information is free, but what you're paying for is that the interaction with a small group of people led by a professional.
Yes, yes, and you know that when you upload your guitar solo, you're going to have perhaps the dean of the performance division, Matt Marvulio, playing back your recording, talking over it. You'll have a recording of him playing how he would have maybe suggested doing it. You listen to that, you re-record your assignment. It's really a powerful experience in the online school.
Right. Well, so let's come back to you for a second.
Okay.
The first time I saw you perform was at McCabe's.
Yes.
Here
yes.
in Los Angeles, which is one of my favorite venues. And McCabe's does this wonderful 11 a.m. kids matinee many weekends. And if you are in the LA area and you're not on the McCabe's mailing list, you're blowing it. But that was actually where I first saw you perform.
Yes.
So you are an accomplished children's music artist.
Yes, I have a band called Debbie and Friends, and we have a YouTube channel with cartoon versions of all of our songs, and we perform about 30 to 40 shows a year, and I just love it. It brings together everything that I've done, my music education background, teaching, and now with the Berkeley Music courses, I can apply our marketing techniques as a way to expand the reach and grow the Debbie and Friends audience, and songwriting techniques, production techniques, it all relates.
How long have you been doing it?
We've been doing it for 6 years, and just this past year we had a song on a compilation that won the Grammy for the Best Children's Album.
Right.
So it was very exciting to be part of
What
that.
was that compilation called?
All about bullies,
Right.
big and small. So anti-bully compilation. Yeah. It's really been a wonderful thing to be part of Debbie and Friends.
I mean, I get your point too, that it's, because I see it in my business. I managed a small group for a minute, and the amount of, it's so illustrative, to actually be, practicing what you're talking about.
Yes.
So, what did you have something similar prior to Debbie and Friends? What are, was other bands, endeavors, efforts?
No, most of my efforts were in music education, writing choral arrangements or writing methods, piano methods, all of that. But
so what made you decide to say, oh, well, I'm going to start a kids' music band?
My niece and nephews really influenced me. I started writing songs for them. They responded to it. Then I started singing at preschools and libraries, and it just took off. And my background is that of a music educator, and there's nothing like an audience of children. And you saw it. They're so reckless abandon. They're interacting and having a wonderful time. And if they don't enjoy it, they'll let you know that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you trying to teach something with Debbie and Friends?
Oh, sure. Yeah, the songs all either reinforce concepts that are age appropriate, like opposites or rhymes, or finding challenges, or physical movements that are age appropriate, singing along. But the most important thing is the parent-child shared musical experience that I hope they replicate after they leave the show. So that's what it's all about.
What has it taught you about the business and marketing?
Oh, well, it's just such a great experiment. I use Topspin, and it's so powerful. The audience, the parents are in their 20s and 30s, so reaching them online is the only way. And I use Mobile Roadie to push when we're in shows in their area, and communicating online, providing content. It's just, it really works, and our shows just keep growing and growing.
And how is kids music as a category? I mean, music is challenging.
Yes.
And when you go to, I was at a show just a couple weeks ago at McCabe's, and I was one of probably 25 people who were there.
Right?
So I know it's tough.
Yes.
How have you found it?
I found it to be fantastic, and every show, the sales are very strong. It's, I think it's the one category where CD sales are not on the decline. It's a physical, tangible present,
Right.
So yeah, I've found it to be a friendly. The people that are involved in children's music are giving and collaborative, and it's just been fantastic. And the guys in the band are Berkeley people, and they love it, and they still can play their adult gigs at night. We're done by 11:30 in the morning. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, and there's no shortage of talented people there.
It's true.
I have for the audience, I have a kids music business idea that I've threatened to get off the ground.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm now, having gone through kids' music once, I have a 22-year-old and I have a 6-year-old, so I've seen that movie twice now. And I'm a music fanatic, so
Yeah.
I've sort of, I just got my 6-year-old a turntable, and she's,
Oh, my goodness.
playing whatever, Cat Stevens in the soundtrack to Oliver with putting the needle on the record. It's really fun to watch kids take it
Yeah.
into, make it their own.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
But so what's next for Berklee College of Music, and for Berkleemusic, the online component? I mean, you mentioned, the degree program seems like the biggest thing. Are there, and you mentioned the free courseware. Any other
Yes.
big endeavors you want to tell us about?
Well, the degrees are huge, and it's what our students have been asking for from the beginning. And with the degrees, we'll finally be able to offer federal financial aid, which has been the barrier to entry for most folks.
Right.
So to make the courses available to more people who haven't been able to afford it will be a nice thing, really nice. But I would say the other thing that we're just starting to talk about is creating an online consortium of arts institutions with online offerings, and kind of raising the awareness and providing an opportunity for students to to learn these convergence of skills that are needed to survive as an artist today.
So you mean across the online music schools you're collaborating?
Online music and arts and communications and
What other schools?
Well, we were talking to Emerson and others. It's probably premature for me to talk too much about it, but it's exciting, and the folks that we're talking to are very interested, but we're at the very beginning stages. But creating an online consortium of arts-related, performing arts, visual arts, communication, all of that.
Right. That makes a lot of sense, particularly as you're offering the broader degree program.
Yes.
So I could cherry pick courses from really the best schools in the world.
That's right.
And bring them in.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to put together a degree, based on being able to do that. I mean, that's actually really interesting as something that you couldn't do in the physical world.
Right.
Right, where I could take a business program, a business course from Indiana University, I could take a science course from Carnegie Mellon, I could take a music course from Berkeley, and all have them apply to a degree program that I'm going to get from somewhere. I hadn't thought of that. That's really interesting.
I heard the provost at Cal Arts recently say that students want to be able to mash up their degrees.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's incredible.
yes.
Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Really, it's one of the greatest things that the internet has allowed, right? Is the ability to touch people who are in parts of the world that you couldn't touch before, and with sort of a degree of specificity that might not have been allowed.
It's true. We have a young woman from Pakistan who was in high school taking our courses and then ended up getting a full ride to Berkeley and graduated, but the online school enabled her to have that opportunity.
Wow, so she started from the online school,
Yes.
cut her teeth, found her way through the front door then.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian.
And I'll see you soon. Thanks everybody for watching, and tune in next week for more This Week in Music. I was just in Nashville and shot a few shows there, including interview with the mayor of Nashville. It's some incredible stuff. So we'll be rolling those out over the coming weeks. So tune in next week. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at This Week in Music, or TWiMusic, I believe. And Facebook as well. So just go to thisweekend.com/music, and you'll find all the links so you can subscribe on YouTube, get it on your iPod, all that good stuff. Thanks. See you soon.
I feel good, even though I shouldn't. I'm chilling so hard, couldn't tell you where to